You gotta go where the U.S. ain't got
Niggas,
no jurisdiction, but at the
niggas keep
everybody.
running. Niggas keep running over there. They making it hot, and now niggas is gonna come get their ass soon. That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
A lot of
you.
niggas got away with it though for the time being, but
Uncle
I'm
Sam
telling
don't play
you,
about his money, yo. People, niggas need to stop
it's like,
playing.
wait, hold up. Why we losing mad millionaires and they all going?
Mm-hmm. All this inflation and everything, yeah.
And
Yo,
niggas going to Puerto Rico so they can avoid them taxes and shit.
taking crypto. Y'all watch this show called Billions? It's on Showtime. Or you ever heard of it?
Rock shit.
Huh?
The shit with the rock.
Nah. No, that's that football drama. Billions is with it's like Paul Giamatti and stuff, but it's like about hedge funds. And they start this season. They kind of like the main dude. He got caught with a bunch of crypto wallets that was vaulted, and he was about to start running for president, and he was about to campaign his presidency through those crypto wallets. And the government has found out about it, and they trying to pin him, like get him on some Al Capone type shit.
Mm.
So, yeah, because he bought some Bitcoin a minute ago and just separated in wallets and just kept them hidden for years. So now the Bitcoin like that he got in there is worth over 3.5 billion. And so, like, dude was like, so the dude, they were just in the, I think they got him in the like the pretty much not negotiation, but pretty much was about to arrest him. They was just like, all right, we're gonna check these crypto wallets, and if there is anything in them, we put you about to be arrested. But the thing is, the catch with those wallets, if you put in the wrong code too many times, it erases everything. It locks it permanently. Nobody will be able to access it afterwards. So they were playing chicken with him, and they were just like, "Yo, all right." So if these shits lock, yo ass, the dude that was trying to pin the crime on him, about to go to jail. So, and he pretty much like let them burn his $3.5 billion just so he ain't go to jail. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I almost threw up for that nigga. I was just like, shit.
And niggas ain't running shit. I get that shit when I come out, nigga. I got my code somewhere in a fucking
He
in a
let that shit
fucking
burn. Oh
uh,
my god.
uh,
But I'm like,
nah,
yo,
son, them
I'm like,
niggas
no
gotta
bullshit.
die.
If 3.5 billion in crypto Bitcoin burned right now, that shit would have been amazing for us. but
Cops gotta die, man. People gotta die.
uh, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy to see how
Niggas got, I'm letting that
crypto.
go. Uh, like, you whack as hell if you could sit there and want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, if you the cop that's or the whatever people, like, yo, I gotta burn this shit. Like, you whack as hell if you could sit somewhere and just burn that.
Mhm.
Like, yo, you don't want to just take a payday right quick? I got it.
Exactly, yo. I could just send this to your wallet.
Like, yo, I could just hit you off right quick. Like, look at how much is there for real, and tell me you want to just erase that and nobody in here gets it.
Yeah.
Like, you can
Like
just
they
really send it to nobody. Like,
that crypto is just locked up in that wallet forever. Nobody be able to get that now.
you know, hack that shit.
Like, damn, he ain't shit for that. He gonna get it back though.
Yo,
That's nuts, though, bro.
I got a guy I was talking to tonight, maybe down the road if you guys want. Yeah, his profession is he's a macro um, analysis, for he's a financial advisor, kind of a macro analysis and things like that. But maybe down the road, if you guys need like you want to interview him, I could probably convince him to see if he wants to do it. Come on, go.
yeah, well, sure. I mean, shoot, whoever we interview. So I mean, it's like, what's the
Yeah,
what's the what's the resistance? Like,
that's his profession. You know what I mean? So I've known him for about a few months, but he seems like a pretty friendly guy. But he's always like, wants to keep on top. He wants to tell me everything. But that's what he does.
does he
Like
have
he's
like
just
a
got a passion
YouTube?
for it.
Does he have a YouTube or something?
No, he deals with, you know, um, just general clientele. I think he's got
He does with general what?
like, I have to find out get his business card and stuff. But he just deals with. I don't even know exactly who he deals with, but So I don't even know him that well, but I just know when I talk to him about this stuff, he's a mutual friend, and that's not usually what we're talking about. We're talking about some other stuff. He's a friend of my friend who's a park ranger, but it comes up because I just bring it up because I know what he does, but I actually don't know who he works for or what. Like I feel like he works in private. You know what I mean? Like he has certain clientele. People pay him to give them financial advice, but he knows a lot. I've talked to him a few times.
Financial advice in terms of, because I wouldn't know what to ask him. Like,
well, he actually does deal with crypto to some extent, but he's more of a stocks.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but he does deal with crypto.
Is he bullish? Is he bullish on stocks?
No, in fact, he was saying we probably got another leg or two down. And he said over his last 25 years of experience, he's always been really accurate on timing the bottoms and the tops and all that stuff. Well, I mean, just like these are short conversations, but he seems like he knows what he's talking about.
I mean, I'm not saying is he bullish on stocks now. I mean, of course.
Like, in general?
I'm just in general. Yeah. No, I'm saying like, would he lean more towards stocks than crypto?
That's traditionally what he was in. But he's not. When I talked to him about crypto, he's like, I brought it up, and he was like, oh yeah, he's like, Bitcoin, Ethereum, those are like the two that he mainly messes with, or he studies, but he wasn't too far into any of the other altcoins in terms of information, but he studies them and other risk assets as well.
Yeah.
Give me some questions. I'll ask him.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to just go based on the basis. Like, it'd be great if he was super bullish in stocks, because then we could have that conversation with somebody. But like, I don't want it to seem like we gonna gang up on him or something. Not him specifically, but I'm just saying it'd be nice. It's because like I like to do a stocks versus crypto episode, but it's very hard because then who gonna make the case for stocks? Because I know I ain't.
Well, I think it's just like, I'm just saying down the road, I'll probably have to talk with him a few more times and just kind of get to know him a little better. But because he's already telling me he wants to, he's right now he's creating these, I guess, these PowerPoints where he has to go to these companies and show them. I don't know all that stuff, dude, but he's telling me basically, he's like, yeah, and I do financial advice both for I think the private sector and also companies, and so he was like gonna look at.
Yeah.
He's gonna share that information with me.
Yeah. I mean, I got some interview. I'm gonna ask Block for an interview, but I'm not gonna ask him right now just because like he got a lot going on. So, yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'm not gonna ask him right now because he got his release and then he just moved to Portugal and like I'll hit him. I hit him after some stuff dies down. But yeah, we'll probably get some interviews in the future. But yeah, you could talk to him. Z, like I feel like
down the road.
Yeah, of course. Z, I think you on to something with this timeshare thing, though.
I'm just keeping an eye out for when somebody comes up with an NFT project with it. So if y'all hear anything, I want to see that. Hopefully it don't come up no time soon because I'm broke right now.
I don't.
But
yeah.
But that's what he was saying. Yeah, just have the dry powder ready.
Yeah, right.
Because I think
he was saying actually he thinks like maybe first quarter of next year you're gonna get a fake pump towards the end of the year. Everybody can come on.
Yeah, we're gonna get I think we're gonna see a nice big pump at the end of the year, probably around Christmas and shit, and it's gonna drop back down, not too far back down where we are now, but it's gonna drop down because it's gonna have to recover, like get its recovery, consolidate, and then come back up, and we'll start seeing our bull run next year.
Oh, so
no.
So my honestly, I don't think we're gonna see a bull run until like 2024, 2025. Like that's my personal opinion.
You think it's gonna last that long? Nah.
No.
You really think it's gonna be that short?
Yeah, I think so. I think next year, like the longest I think it will be is the middle of like summer of next year. Though, only because I see so many projects that are gonna be successful. and people are going to come into it from the regular world. And then, especially if, and it's not even just the projects, thinking about the real world utility, a lot of businesses in the real world are trying to transition to be able to accept crypto payments. So imagine if people are able to start paying their phone bills, their light bills, utilities, and their car payments and all of that shit in crypto. If payment gateways open up for that type of stuff, especially when the US dollar isn't worth shit, like yeah,
So
I can see
you
people
like,
doing that.
so you're basing that just off like world events with the market tied into crypto. That's what you're basing that off of.
Yeah, not really the crypto market or not just what's going on in the crypto market. It's just gonna be the need for it. We
I
have the need
think I'm
for it.
I'm still basing it off the cycles. So like, I
Nah,
think
those cycles are irrelevant. I think they're gonna be irrelevant now because
it's
those
it's
patterns and trends are changing.
it's irrelevant to the extent, but I'm just saying. I guess like a lot of people are going by the
That's just
hat.
my opinion. Sorry,
No, but I'm
I
just
didn't want to say facts.
no, but I'm just. I mean, that's fine. Like I just feel like people are still going by the halving cycles as far as like the
Mhm.
Bitcoin halving. That's going to drive the market, and like the Bitcoin halving is not projected to be till 2024. So it's just like I don't know. I still think that has a factor in like the cycle in the bull and in the bear trends. And
Thi- Go
huh?
ahead, finish. Finish what you're saying. Sorry.
Nah, I just feel like that's a thing. Like I just like personally, I just feel like that's a factor element into like how like the bull cycle is gonna last or whatever.
Nah, I believe that though, but keep in mind though that that's because every coin was tied to Bitcoin. Because like, all right, so when we think it in code, Bitcoin is code. The code for Ethereum, for Binance, and all of them came from a piece of Bitcoin, and therefore all of the meme coins and tokens got a piece of the Ethereum, Binance, and the other blockchains, and they all build in it because you had to have certain amounts. So those are all pieced in, and that's why they were all tied to Bitcoin. So the factor though that's coming in more now is credit card payments. A lot of these projects and NFTs, they not taking Bitcoin to be able to as their leverage. They taking actual US dollars, actual fiat to back their platforms. So a lot of the platforms like one of, for example, which is why I don't want to really shit on them because I do believe that's smart what they're doing is to build a platform based on fiat rather than just cryptocurrency. So therefore it kind of stabilizes their market. So if not everybody's being if these projects are being pumped with fiat instead of Bitcoin, I could see the market trends pulling away from the Bitcoin trend. That Bitcoin won't have such a strong hold over the market anymore. So that's why I see it actually going, and then we might actually see Ethereum and Binance and Cardano and all of them move just like the stock market moves. Well, it's still gonna be volatile because ain't enough people in crypto, but I just don't think Bitcoin is gonna have as big over the market anymore.
I mean, I get you on that, but I'm just saying like you really think all that got the power to move the markets like dramatically as far as like how they're manipulating it now? Just because like I mean I get like all the stuff like the credit cards and like people being invested in their 401k, but how big of a dent is that gonna put in the market? Because I feel like the whales in the halving cycle that still has a major factor.
Keep in mind, American Express credit cards, American Express pulls in revenue of at least $30 billion a year.
Yeah,
So that's American Express by themselves. So now, if American Express, right now we already know that Visa and Mastercard is using has crypto cards, debit cards already. So now American Express getting on that too. All of those cards, those financial giants, they make over $30 billion. So now if they're able to transition that and pull some of that into the crypto market, that's billions going into the crypto market, not tethered to Bitcoin. So that's why I kind of see it happening. We're in a I think a lot is happening that we don't see. And all we're seeing is that downward trend right now. We feel like bear market, but I also feel like this is a time for correction. and we've seen a lot of correct happening right now.
I agree with you. I guess I don't agree on the timeline as far as like I do think a lot of this is going to factor in to where other coins can pull away from Bitcoin, but I just feel like we're just not there yet in the market.
And we need all Bitcoins to die out too, so that's going to happen.
I don't know. I feel like I guess you're saying, oh, we're like 1 to 2 years off from that. I feel like we're at least 4 or 5 years from that, in my opinion. But I mean, that's just my opinion. Like, honestly, I hope your opinion fall out because that helped me. That helped me more. I hope your opinion having more of my opinions. It's like
we'll see. We'll see what
I rather your opinion come true than mine. But
well, yeah, maybe by the summer. But now I'm looking at trends and see what's going on in the market, and then what's going on in the real world and the news.
I mean, I guess I still factor in the halving cycles or whatever. That's gonna pump the price of Bitcoin. Then other coins are gonna follow suit. So I guess I'm still stuck on that model as far as like, just in terms of that. I guess like as far as like the timing. Now what I'm not stuck on is I'm not stuck on like the percentage as far as how high Bitcoin is gonna actually go. I feel like that shit is dead. Like I'm not projected. Oh, Bitcoin hit 20,000, so projected percentage wise, it should hit 300K. Like
I don't even touch Bitcoin. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't.
Nah, they said
like,
it.
I know.
Go ahead.
I know people I know people do it, and it's like people put it in there to store their bread, and then you got the people that are novices, like or just really new to the space, and they're just like, I should invest in crypto because that's what everybody's doing. That's the one that's the most expensive, so I should buy it. And then they buy it and get wrecked and then say crypto's a scam and then be out. But like I just feel like crypto is just because it's the most popular one. That's why Bitcoin is just popular. That's why people buy that shit.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's not gonna be the most returns, but it's the safest, in my opinion, the safest one out of all of them. But it's not gonna give you the return.
Why do you think it's the safest though?
Because it's considered a commodity by the feds. It's not considered a security. It was deemed an asset in 2014. Like when I think about why it's safest, it's like I think in terms of safest from our own government, in terms of regulation.
Yeah, that makes it more. See, for me, that makes it even more risky. That's why I got out of the stock market because our government can't be trusted, especially not with our money. So it's like, and then you got the hedge fund managers, like you were just talking about them. They manipulate markets, like they've been manipulating Bitcoin. Like it's obvious Bitcoin has been manipulated. It's not even just this bear trend or anything. Yes, there's other things going on in the market, but big money, people talk about big money like there's a bunch of billionaires just sitting around playing around with Bitcoin. No, the government has been playing around with Bitcoin too because it's considered a commodity and they can do that.
Everything's manipulated.
No, that's true, but not everything is as heavily and obviously manipulated as Bitcoin is compared to the stock market. So, but like I said, like because the government's hand is so deep into Bitcoin, for me, in my opinion, that's why I don't trust it as much too. That gives me more reason not to trust it.
I think it's safer because in return wise, it's not going down. Like we haven't seen that in a while. Not going down. I'm saying, hold up. I
Go ahead, Jay.
You caught me up.
That nigga he said, hold up.
I mean, it hasn't gone down no like 90% like other altcoins that people buy into. So that's why I look at it as a safer based off of just that off of that.
Neither has Binance, neither has Ethereum, neither has Cardano, Crow. None of them has gone down 90%. But it's just like, so that's not a reason to say that it's safe because there's a lot of coins on the market that hasn't, and the government don't got their hands in them. Matter of fact, government tells
how do we know what the government got their hands in?
We don't. You're right. But at the end of the day, y'all point, was that it's safer because the government is deeper involved into it.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I don't know. I don't know what the government is involved in. I don't know what the.
I know there's people that feel safer when the government is involved. I don't.
No. I'm saying I'm saying they're safer because they have less involvement. It can't be regulated. That's what I'm saying. It's the opposite. Like all these other ones can be touched by regulation. Bitcoin right now can't. And even if they try to do a 50-50, whatever, 51, 49, they just do a hard fork, and guess where all the people would go? They would go
Why do you think they can't touch Bitcoin?
Because they can't. Because even if they tried to do the 51 split, they would just create a fork, and then people would go to the one that's actually legit, and those people that took over would have nothing. They would just have who's going to trust that currency over one that the people own?
Bitcoin has already
can't be. I know, but I'm saying if like the government tried to hack it and try to do that, it would be pointless because then the people would just fucking fork it, and then you wouldn't have that. It's almost.
I'm not thinking of the banking. I'm not talking about hacking it. As soon as the government, when the government puts our funds, like them tax dollars that we pay, or the mysterious funds that they just be popping up out of nowhere with, when they decide to put that in Bitcoin, you think they didn't have all of that money in Bitcoin and then they just pull it out? You think it's like
they can't control it.
Y'all think it's a coincidence that all these wars are going on?
They can't control Bitcoin. That's their problem.
They can't.
I'm telling you, I don't.
This, right?
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, big money. I think big money can control it, and governments can. But I'm saying, like, in terms of actual, like, they basically said, Bitcoin, we're gonna let that one go. These other ones, that's what the Fed's focusing on, and that's why they deemed it an asset back in 2014. I'm just saying, like, all these other cryptos are a lot more risky than Bitcoin, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's your opinion. I just think Bitcoin is riskier than anything. I don't trust it.
Why do you think it's more risky than other coins?
What is it like? Because it doesn't have as much utility or anything, and then on top of it, like you said, I do believe the government manipulates that more than anything. I think it's more governments in Bitcoin than there are actual retail investors. I don't think Bitcoin is for the people. I'm definitely like I said, I'm for free money and people moving and having more control over their assets and be able to move it undetected and do what you have to do. But I don't believe that the government allows that with Bitcoin. They allow y'all to think that y'all sitting there with some decentralization with Bitcoin, but it's not. Most of the people that's in Bitcoin aren't people, it's governments.
How do we know that?
How do you know it's retail investors in there? How many people?
We don't know that. We don't know that.
We do know that. Actually, we can do that based on statistics. You can sit there and go and count and find out the rate. Find out the statistics of how many billionaires are in the world right now, and then you can look at how many wallets
or that's people. Because you can like Mike Taylor that's I mean based off of like certain wallets. Because, I mean, you got people that track wallets. So
exactly. So when you find those statistics of how many, you can find statistics and censuses based on how many billionaires there are in the world. And then you go and check them wallets and see how many billions and how much big them wallets are. And tell me that those aren't more than what our censuses are telling us. The census is
up. But how do you know those wallets are?
Nobody knows anything when it comes to it. Everybody can just observe and see what's going on.
How do we know who those wallets belong to?
Nobody knows what wallets belong to anything. Everything you saying and even everything that I'm saying is assumption and based on our experience and our observations. But my observations are showing me that there's more government manipulation in Bitcoin. So that's why I stay away from it. I don't fuck with Bitcoin. But if y'all find it more safe and y'all see it more safe, that's your opinion. But my opinion is that it's not safe.
Once the regulations are out and things are a little more defined, I'm not going to say necessarily that Bitcoin's is safer. I'm just saying as of right now, that's just what it is. I mean, you got Gary Gensler out there trying to fucking make everything a security. Even Cardano I think even Michael Saylor was out there recently, like Cardano is definitely a security. You know, if that gets regulated by the feds, that shit's gonna tank.
Well, we'll see what the feds can get control over. We don't know what the feds can do or what's going to happen with that, but I just don't see them getting control over all these assets of what they've been trying to do for the past, like, 10 years.
So well, you know, that might be a good sign for Cardano, to be honest. When you start getting Bitcoin maxis 89, that'd be a good sign for it, too. I'm just saying, like, until that regulation's defined, we don't.
Hey,
no one, I mean,
they better not touch.
Bitcoin's the safest.
They better not touch Cardano, man. That's all I'm saying. Better not touch. I got too much. I got too much money on there, bro. Don't touch Cardano, please.
Just telling you. You know, Michael Saylor's
They're gonna be on the White House lawn. Like, y'all don't touch my ADA. What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah, don't touch that. I got too much money on the line. Please don't touch.
Probably the safest crypto, if you think about it, is like, well, until regulations start. Some of these private cryptos, like, I don't know, Zcash, and some of these actually even more private cryptos where you can actually launder money.
Now, are we like with the Bitcoin?
Zcash,
like,
I do have Zcash.
Like with the Bitcoin, like, so like, is it just like more of a commodity? Cause like, just y'all feel like that shit ain't gonna go to zero ever or whatever. But I don't think that ever go to zero. But I do feel like the percentage gains of which you can make, I feel like you can make more gains with other coins or whatever. That's why personally I don't buy Bitcoin. Plus, like, I just do agree with Z. Like, what's it do is just a store of value. Like, it has no utility in terms of that. Like, for me, it's like the equivalent of gold. Like, gold doesn't do anything. It's just a value.
You can use it as collateral to take a loan out of it.
But
that's one utility.
You do it with other coins too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
and I'm asking this question: would you do that with other coins, knowing that how quickly you can get liquidated with those other coins? That is quite a popular strategy.
Well, one, I'm not taking out loans in crypto right now, so like, because crypto is too volatile. Any crypto is too volatile. I wouldn't even do it in Bitcoin. You see how much Bitcoin dropped? Anybody that took out a loan in Bitcoin over 2 years ago is in shit right now.
No, I'm saying but I'm saying people do that, and they can sustain little drops. All you gotta do is keep adding liquidity to your Bitcoin, or you could be buying. You can use your Bitcoin as collateral, take a loan out in stable, and just be buying Bitcoin.
Okay, you know? But what Stu is saying is Bitcoin itself don't have utility. You can find utility for Bitcoin, but Bitcoin ain't got no utility.
Yeah.
What other coins got? What other utility do other coins got? That you don't have to find a utility for it.
Jay, you serious right now?
I'm asking the question.
What other? Yo, you serious?
What I'm saying. Don't you gotta find utility for these coins? Like, what do you? I don't get it.
Bitcoin was never built with utility other than to just trade, buy and sell shit.
Yeah.
Other coins
you can build on top of Bitcoin. You can use it as collateral.
Stake. Nobody's doing it though. Like it's not happening.
Who's not doing what?
People are just buying Bitcoin. That's it.
People are not building on top of Bitcoin like they building on other.
Hey, what you doing with Bitcoin?
Huh?
What are you doing with Bitcoin?
I'm buying it. I'm staking it. I'm using it I've used it as collateral, but I'm taking loans out on it, but I'm using it as collateral. I have taken loans out on it in the past and just took it and just sold the USD as cash and then bought like eBay shit. So I mean, I've used it for multiple things.
So just to buy and trade, exactly what Bitcoin does. That's it.
I just said I use it for collateral. That's not trading and that's buying, and I'm making money off of that. So I'll take it and I'll put it on a different blockchain, wrap it. Now I got wrap Bitcoin, and I'll use that for collateral somewhere for APY. That's not what most people are doing, but
I don't think Bitcoin is worth its hype.
Huh?
Bitcoin ain't worth its hype. I think it's overvalued.
It's just first. Like that's like my thing. It's just like it's just first. Like if all these other coins started at the same time as Bitcoin, are we still having this discussion? Like that's my thing. Like
no.
I don't feel like honestly I feel like we're not. Huh?
We don't know that.
I mean, of course we don't know that. I can't go back to 2008, rewind time, and then put Cardano on the map. I mean, if I could, I would. I'd be a billionaire right now.
But yeah, like I don't know. For me, Bitcoin ain't got enough. Isn't worth it to me. So that's just me, my opinion.
I just I just feel like you can't. I don't know. I just feel like Ethereum and just other coins or whatever you could do. Like I equivalent Bitcoin to like gold, and like Ethereum is like gas, which you're gonna pay a lot on that motherfucker. But it's just so much you could do so much more with gasoline. Like you could like drive cars, motorcycles, like machines. Like you could do so much more with gas than you could do with gold. That's all I compared it to, or whatever. Not saying, but like equivalently, like people always gonna fuck with gold or whatever, just cause like, but gold inherently doesn't do anything. It's just a value that we all agree on it. Like we all agree that gold is valuable, just like we all agree that Bitcoin is valuable. So like, I think it's just more the inherent value of it. I don't know, to me, but
Yeah, certain things like I mean, my pockets like there's certain things like some people will spend $100,000 on a gold chain. Other people like, nah, that's too expensive. I ain't doing that shit. So it's your percep it's just your opinion and what you hold value in it at the end of the
because
day.
if we
But
all agreed that gold wasn't shit, then gold wouldn't be shit, and we all
Right.
agreed on that.
You know what's funny though about gold? Gold been around since before time. Like gold has withstand every currency in the world since before time. Like I mean, even though we talk so much about the dollar is new. Like the dollar's gonna come and go. Like and gold is still gonna be here.
I mean, I get that. I mean, I get gold and all that shit or whatever. Like, but like I just feel like that's what we all agree on. Like fucking rocks been here for the longest of time, but we don't fucking place like value on fucking rocks and shit.
That's why that's not in the conversation, I guess.
No, but I'm saying like I could bring up the same point and I could say something about some other shit, but like we don't agree on that shit, so that's why it's not worth any value. Like it's all about what we agree on. Like the society or people have to agree as a collective that this is inherently valued. If it's not, that's when the shit like fucking
Right now, that's what Bitcoin is.
what? I feel like personally Bitcoin is valuable because it was first. It was the first of its kind. It was the first
Oh my god.
decentralized currency or whatever, which rippled effect and be like, okay, we decentralize money. What also can we decentralize? Oh, we can,
Hello?
huh? Say what?
Oh, phone.
Like Bitcoin just layered the ripple effect to decentralize so many other industries or whatever. Oh, now we're trying to Google, decentralize Google and search engines. Now Web3, music, like it just opened the gate with the internet. It just opened the gateway for all these other opportunities through Bitcoin or whatever. Huh?
answer man, though. I'm listening.
Nah, that's the only thing. It just created a ripple effect or whatever. But like personally, yes, I do believe Bitcoin from the outsider looking in, like it probably will be the more safer option for them or whatever. But that's just because that shit ain't gonna go to zero. It's not because of all the other stuff that y'all mentioned because they don't even know that coming in as an investor. They just like, oh, this got the highest price, so it's not gonna go to zero. But I'm saying it could drop at it. You could not make the higher percentage gains on other coins. I feel like they're looking at it from that perspective, not all the other things as far as like the collateral and all that other stuff. I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, that's and when you look at it that way, yes, it's true in a short term basis. If you look at it on a long term basis, I mean, people look at it as a safer because it's been around longer, and a lot of people look at that as a factor when they come into an investment class. For example, like Dave Ramsey, he's been shitting on Bitcoin for a long time. But I mean, and you remember, and if you remember, like how he tell people to go look at stocks or not even stocks, because he tell you look at it like a fund. So when he tells you look at a fund, he tell you look at a fund that has over like a 10 to 20, 30-year track record. So I guess now Bitcoin got over like a 10-year track record. Like he's now more receptive to, I guess now teaching people how to invest in that now.
Yeah.
Now, and I think that's why people tend to go the Bitcoin route, whatever, because it's been around longer. Because I mean, if you've been around or just heard about other stuff, or you can just do the research, you've had your like a lot of these layer twos that's around now, like your ADAs and your AVAXs and your Maddox and your BNBs. Like we've had those before, like that had like a potential market cap compared to Bitcoin in the past. And those were like the big blockchains that you had big names on there, like Charles Hopkinson and all these other big names on the other blockchains. And we've seen those come and go. So people like they don't know if, I mean, for the people that's been here or know about those others, like they don't know about these other blockchains until like it can withstand the test of time and withstand a couple cycles, because a lot of other projects haven't.
Again,
I had the same hype.
Again, like I feel like we saying the same point though. Like I just, for all the reasons that you mentioned, that's the reason people come into it and they be like, oh, what's the one with the least chance to go to zero? Oh, Bitcoin. Okay, let me buy that. For all the reasons that you mentioned, that re-emphasizes my point as far as like people coming in. But I'm saying like, if you're gonna make the most percentage gains, I do not believe I can make more percentage gains through other coins and other like currencies or whatever, in my opinion.
No one's arguing that. I'm just saying, but what difference does that make when it can be regulated and they won't last? Like they'll get knocked out. Like what's the point? You know, if it's not gonna last, what's the point?
You're looking at only the upside. You're not looking at the downside. Like your coin can go have higher gains, but it can go to zero.
Okay, I mean, there's always gonna be a chance. Like it's decentralized, so like I'm saying, like there's always gonna be a chance that it can go to zero. I had to make peace with that, which I have, or whatever. I'm just saying, based on my research, like Z was saying, based on my research, I have a level of comfortability based on my own research that like I feel like I'm comfortable wagering or having that risk that it comes to zero or whatever. When it comes to like regulation, like it's like I don't know. You could, I honestly I could see Z's point as far as government having regulation coming in with Bitcoin as well. It can be manipulated on both sides. Now I'm saying like, will it drop to zero? I mean, probably not. But like, I just feel like that's the risk that you take just based on your level of research for your investment. Like I can't dispute that. I can't. Oh, it's not. It's impossible. Like I can't say that.
It's the only one. I think I'm for decentralization and everything. I like the idea obviously, but at the same point, I'm trying to make some money, and so you gotta, like in my opinion, to like say I don't want Bitcoin at all. To me, I feel like I should have my hand in Bitcoin, and I don't even have very much Bitcoin. Like I have like $1,000 in Bitcoin, dude. Like I don't really have.
I have
not a
zero.
Bitcoin person.
You
know what I mean?
Think you'll make money with Bitcoin? You don't think that's what decentralization is for? Is to be able to make money, especially passively.
So that's what everything is, not just decentralization. You can do that.
No, I'm just going off of what he just said. He was just saying that he doesn't want to be. He's not in he likes the idea of decentralization, but he's trying to make money. That's why he's in Bitcoin.
Yeah, because I think it's common sense. When you got nation states adopting Bitcoin, it's the first mover advantage. I'm not even looking at it in terms. I'm just looking at it in common sense. Like you got something that was classified as an asset in 2014 by the World Bank. You got something that repeatedly is by our own federal government saying that it's not a security, it's a commodity. Like you have all these people that are like Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. To me, that it's like a no-brainer. You should have a little bit of money allocated to Bitcoin just in case, if anything, as a hedge against all your other cryptos that you've got money.
Are you in any? What DeFi projects are you in?
DeFi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm an expert at any of this.
I'm not saying you're. No. I'm just asking what projects are you in or have you been in? Just
for DeFi. Well, actually, I'm just getting into those. So, like, I just got the book from.
All right. So in a couple months, once you start getting more into DeFi, I want to hear you come back to that same statement that you said that you're trying to make money. That's why you're in Bitcoin. I'm gonna just let you hold up. I'm gonna let you do your research a couple.
It's not gonna change, and the reason why it's not gonna change.
I don't think it's gonna change his opinion.
It's not gonna change my opinion because we gotta stop living by the fantasy that retail investors control any of this.
I'm going by what I'm making
because we don't. We don't control it. The people with money control what's going on. Period. I really believe that. I think we're naive to say, oh, we're the people, we're going to come up and we're going to make all this, we're going to make changes to this whole monetary system. Crypto, in terms of what I understand, which is very little, is a very small percentage of what the trillions and trillions of dollars that are out there. And those people with those trillions of dollars, they're going to look at this and they're going to be like, oh, that's fun. These guys are playing this fun game. And, okay, we're going to capitalize on it. We're going to make money off it. But I'm not going to, they're not going to say, oh, they're going to take over. They're going to get way ahead of it, like JP Morgan, like all these other banks are already doing.
That's it. Like, if you're just holding coins and waiting for them to go up, yeah. But if you're taking advantage of an ecosystem and getting your money through out of it and getting your money in and out, you're fine. But yeah, so you'll be dependent on Bitcoin if you're just holding some coins, yeah.
Yeah, I'm planning on getting in and out. And if I ever saw that shit, I'll be right out of Cardano. Gone.
Like, money doesn't stay on the blockchain.
I'll be gone. Like, who's to say that shit go to zero? Who's to say I'm gonna stay in and ride that shit all the way back down to zero?
Who said I haven't already taken my money out by the time it gets to zero?
Yeah, like.
Now you're talking about being active, which most people are not going to be. I'm saying,
but that's what we're talking about is us. And why we don't, how we move and based on our opinions. We're not talking about everybody else.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's why I picked Bitcoin because over long term. I mean, I've been in the game space a little longer. It's outstanding a lot of stuff. So I feel that's why it's been safe for projects. Even the ones that y'all mentioned that y'all in the old coins ain't been around that long. So it's the returns have probably been better in the short term. Over term, it hasn't. But I understand where y'all coming from.
For me, the only way I would have to do some type of Bitcoin IRA or something like that, through a Roth. That's the only way, because then it'd be on autopilot or whatever. But if it was up to me, just picking coins off my phone or whatever, or just me going to a marketplace and doing my own individual research, it would have to be in a way of how I get into Bitcoin. If I was going to get a lot of it, it would have to be on autopilot, kind of like how people are just on autopilot, just investing in Bitcoin. It would have to be a different way for me, because then I'd be like, all right, cool. I would just have a Bitcoin IRA and just have that passively or whatever funded through my job or something, or take a percentage out of my check. Then I would do that. I'd be open to that, just because that would clear both sides. Because then I'd be good on my Bitcoin wallet as far as me clearing that, and then also I would have that just going on in my NFTs and just all the other assets I got.
But I mean, these are just titles and just systems that you can put together yourself. You don't need an IRA. Only difference between, you don't need all that, setup. You can create your own IRA within your Coinbase joint or within your Crypto.com or whatever one you use. If they got automatic buys, you can do that on your own. You don't need that. It's just, I think some people aren't just that convicted on the space. They want to time the market and they want to think they're going to get in at this point and this point.
For me, it would just have to be
they convicted on the stock market.
Well, of course, that's the whole point of your point with Dave Ramsey. He's just going based on Bitcoin just because because it's tried, it's been through tried and true. For him, it's just the longest data I can go off my investment. So now I'm going with the longest one. Even if that is bare minimum, even if all the other shit you saying he has no clue about. Bare minimum, he it's been around the longest. That's the one I'm going with. Even just off that. And that's why most people get into Bitcoin or whatever, in my opinion. I just feel like it's been around the longest. That's always just been the staple with that.
So that's why you would go with a Bitcoin IRA.
Huh?
So that's why you're saying you would go with a Bitcoin IRA?
I'm just saying that's one of the ways if I was going to fund it or whatever and put it and I'm actually going to get into it or whatever, that was just one of the ways. I'm not saying that's exactly what I would do.
Oh no, I'm just asking because I'm saying because I think people are just really even some of us are really just that afraid of the market. Like we'd rather put in the stuff that we know and we're comfortable with than the stuff that we say we bullish on, but we ain't really that bullish on because we can just autopilot buy into the coins that we like. Like, if you like XRP, you can be averaging XRP every week without even thinking about it.
I mean, for me, it's like, bro, it's something about it's something about not having a whole share of coins. Just something about that. Like, I just like me. I like whole coins.
Like, do you DCA into Cardano?
Yes.
Okay, no, I'm just asking.
What about it?
No, I asked if do you DCA into Cardano?
Yes, I do. What I'm saying, like, what about the question? Like, you asked me that.
You asked me why I'm asking. I'm just asking if you DCA in Cardano, like you DCA into your like 401k or something. But if you do that, that's cool. All right.
Yeah, I'm DCAing into Cardano right now. I mean, so I got an X amount of dollars that comes out of my check every week in Cardano or whatever. But like, for me to make a mass buy, I'm waiting for that shit to get under 40 cents. I've been saying the same shit or whatever.
No, I wasn't asking that. I just asked that, and I just told you why I asked it. That's the only reason I asked. Like, but yeah, I got you.
Nah.
I mean, I feel if they convicted on the coins that they like, then if you're willing to invest into the 401k, and
my thing is, I just don't like the safe bullshit like analogy or whatever. Like, oh, it's safe or whatever. I'm just like, bro, like, all right, like, there's so many variables in this. That's why I just say, like, if you're not willing to, like, it's just for like people that's coming in, like, if you're not willing to like actually be in the crypto community and you're just going to just be like, oh, I'm just going to buy Bitcoin, everything's going to be fine. Okay, that's fine. But if you would have invested, if you would have put that Bitcoin into Celsius, you'd be really upset right now. Oh, if I just...
Say it again?
If you would have had that Bitcoin in Celsius, you'd be upset right now because you can't get it out. So all that, it ain't going to go to zero. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it ain't going to go to zero, but it sure as hell ain't coming out of your account either. Like,
what if you could have put your ADA in the Celsius, right? Like, Celsius had a lot of shit.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, just this whole narrative that, oh, it's safe, like, it's like, oh, it's the safe thing. There's so many variables in crypto. It's not just like, if I do these 3 things, then everything's going to be, like, nah, it's like you got to take time to actually be in the crypto sphere or whatever. Like, that's what I'm saying, like, you got to pay attention to this shit. That's why, like, I don't recommend just no random motherfucker coming into this shit. I don't recommend it. I be like, bro, like, honestly, like, it's a lot going on over here. It's like the Wild Wild West in this motherfucker. And if you're not, huh?
Like, if you try to play it safe, stay with the regular investments. Don't
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like, bro, this people get this narrative like, oh, if you just get Bitcoin and everything's gonna be good. There's so many other variables that come along with that. And yeah, you're right. If I put my money in ADA or whatever, that same shit can happen. I'm just saying it go both ways.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm comfortable telling somebody, new getting into the space, jump in, get comfortable, just do certain shit a certain way, and you will be fine. You feel me? Now, I mean, yeah, I'm comfortable telling people that. It's just that I'm gonna tell them certain shit. I'm gonna tell them like,
I'm personally.
Go ahead.
I haven't got that much Bitcoin. Like I said, got $1,000. Like, I'm taking my time. I'm learning it, but I'm starting to become more open-minded to the idea as to what the pros are for it. So I don't mind arguing, like, being the devil's advocate here and saying, yeah, hey, Bitcoin might be the safest one, But, and the same thing with the DeFi. Like, that's why Jay just sent me that. I'm trying to take my time with that. I mean, I have some, like, when you said that, I had to look it up. Like, what are all the DeFi projects? Like, top DeFi projects I'm looking at. Like, you're talking about Avalanche. I have, like, 3 Avalanche, nothing. But Uniswap, I've been talking about that on here. Like, so I'm interested in learning more about some of these projects, but at the same time, like, I've made the mistakes that you guys are mentioning, where I FOMO'd in to, or at least decent projects like Ethereum, Cardano, and some of these other ones at probably not the best price level, you know what I mean? But I'm in it for the long term. I'm in it to learn. So that's just what it takes sometimes for me to kind of, I'm just human. I got into it, but the more I look at like global markets and kind of what's going on, I'm like, okay, who are the real players in this game? I wish, we could have a truly decentralized system, and maybe we will. But at the same time, there's all this manipulation out there that I don't trust the government any more than you guys do. But I know they're smart and they think in terms of decades. They don't think in terms of years or even cycles sometimes. So I don't know.
I'm just saying I'm just saying not for nothing. Like fucking, they could be manipulating the fuck out of Bitcoin. The government could, or whatever. Just saying spit some bullshit and then doing some shit on the back end. They very well could be doing that. I can see that. I can see that. Fucking like, what's the name off? What's the bank or whatever? That motherfucker didn't like Bitcoin for the longest time. Then he switched up all of a sudden. What's his name?
Jamie Dimon.
Whoever was he told his employees not to invest in Bitcoin like at the bank. You'll get fired if you invest in Bitcoin. What is his fucking name?
Who, Jamie Dimon from Chase?
No, not Chase. It's JP Morgan. What is his fucking name?
That's Chase, bro.
Oh well, I mean, whatever. But anyway, like he fucking said not to fucking. He told his employees not, they can't invest in Bitcoin, and then he doing some sly shit on the side or whatever. Like, who's to say the government ain't doing that shit? Now I can't prove it. That's the one area that y'all I can't say. I can't prove that shit. But like, who's to say they ain't manipulating the fuck out of it? Who's to say like fucking Nancy Pelosi ain't doing some slick shit on the side? I mean, for real.
Nancy
got
it
on the side like what? Buying some?
No, it's not even. I'm just saying like manipulating the fuck out of that shit, like or whatever.
Like what? Like what's the example of that?
It's like I'm just saying like them having like mass amounts or whatever. Like I'm not saying just like government overall as an entity, they could be manipulating the price and driving it down or whatever, or having some insider like I don't know like exactly like pinpointing or whatever, but they can have like some insider like trader view or something like that, or just have like association with like major like whales or something like that. Be like, yeah, let's accumulate it in mass. Like Bitcoin is down or whatever. We got like all these institutions like manipulating the fuck out of the price. Like it could be a combination of all that and shooting down the price so they can go get some and putting fear into the market or X, Y, and Z.
If that's the case, I'd rather be holding Bitcoin than holding anything else because everything else follows Bitcoin, and usually everything else goes down a lot more than Bitcoin when it happens. So if that's the case, on the downside, I'd rather be holding Bitcoin.
I mean, that's fine, bro. You go whatever you want, man. I'm just saying government could be buying up right now. They could be buying like, yes, let's get it to like 10,000. Let's scoop up all that motherfucker. Like they could be doing that.
That drop that shit right after that. They get their bag, which is what they do. It's no coincidence that the market is down while the world is in a war.
I mean, unless we know that for sure, that's all conspiracy. But it's a possibility, yes. I mean, you don't know that.
Know anything for sure.
If I knew for sure, I would.
Why is the topic that they are when it's like it could be so much more than that?
We know that's what they do. We just never can be able to prove it. We know they do it in the stock market. We can't prove it though. We know they do it with our taxes. We can't prove it though. We know they do it with our student loans. We can't prove it though.
How do we know what they do with certain stuff? Like I'm trying to see. I don't get it.
You think the government don't manipulate nothing?
I didn't say that. I didn't say the government don't manipulate now. I don't know what they manipulate. So I'm saying if you know that they manipulate, if they do something. I'm saying if you know if you see something that they did that shows that they manipulate something. I mean, I'm all ears, but. And I mean, now we're talking about crypto right now. I don't know.
I thought you meant like they don't manipulate nothing. I'm like, come on, man.
I'd like to break on the regulation from the government. Like,
the government don't manipulate nothing.
Come on, man.
I didn't never said that. Again,
no, but that's what you acting like. That's really where you're going towards. That the government.
Like motherfucker, they don't manipulate my check every fucking week where they fucking taking out a percentage gains on my goddamn check, and then I don't even get that back in interest when I get my taxes at the end of the year That's some bullshit. Taxes in itself.
You understand taxes? We already had that conversation, bro.
But I'm just saying, motherfuckers don't even know they get manipulated. I'm saying motherfuckers don't even know they get manipulated. Period.
Now we're not talking about motherfuckers. We're talking about us. We know that, and you know what to do when it comes to that situation, right?
Yes, of course. Like I changed my W-4 because I'm not getting manipulated.
Huh?
I changed my W-4 because I get more out of each check.
Okay, we understand that. I'm saying some people, they rather loan the government money with no interest, and whatever, and collect their money back in taxes at the end of the year. You understand that. We understand that when we have a job that we do not do that, and we change our W-4s around or whatever it's called, so we get all our money in our check, and we don't get anything at the end of the year. So I'm saying, yes, certain people know that, and some people don't. Now, is it manipulation that for the people that are letting the government take the money? I guess that's up to each other's opinion. You know, some
man, I just feel like people are not.
It's manipulation.
People are not educated on the fact that they're doing that shit. Like people, that is not taught. Like if people really knew how much they're getting financially fucked on each fucking each coming paycheck and working pennies on the goddamn dollar and not even beating out inflation every time you get a fucking like a 50% raise, there'd be an economic revolution and people actually knew what the fuck, how financially fucked they're really getting in the fucking ass. I truly believe that if people really understood that shit.
They'd be rioting.
I think I see where you're coming from. I just think people would probably be more.
Nah, but that's fucking manipulation in itself. That's manipulating the people. Like people are not even educated on the fact of that very fact, and that's just one of the few ways or whatever that the government is.
People get caught up in the system.
Nah, but I'm just saying, like, you can't tell me. I'm just saying, like, Z does have a point. Like, you can't say that, like, the government is a really good damn possibility that they gonna manipulate the fuck out of Bitcoin and have their hand in that too, or whatever. Y'all ain't gonna know it. Y'all ain't gonna see it.
Y'all saying that the government might manipulate Bitcoin for XYZ reason is like just creating FUD, but we don't know what they might do or what might happen. They might go the CBDC route and decide to just have asset, whatever they gonna have asset.
We do agree that we're in a capitalist society though. It ain't about no like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so like fucking the government gonna get their piece too. Like I believe that shit or whatever. And if crypto is gonna be really here to stay, like everybody says it is, I believe they're gonna have a hand in that motherfucker as well. They're gonna have a playbook for Bitcoin. I do believe, like, yeah.
Okay, I mean, we could be here, like, until the cows come home and about situations with what could happen with Bitcoin. Same thing, it could happen with anything else. But if it happens to the Bitcoin, I mean, it's gonna happen to, it's gonna trickle down to everything else 10 times worse.
Okay, at this point, yes. But if we fast forward, yes, at this current state of the market, yeah, the coins do follow Bitcoin. You are correct about that. You are correct. But I am saying, like, I don't know. I mean, at some point, these coins are going to have to break away.
Or we don't know what it's going to be that's going to have those coins break away. We all have assumptions of what it could be, what it might be. But right now, there is no breakaway.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I just, again, like, my original point is I just don't like how Bitcoin is just be like, oh, it's safe or whatever. So, like, just buy that and then don't worry about nothing. Like I hate the way that is presented or whatever. Like that's why I don't really recommend nobody get into this space because I wouldn't just say that to somebody and just off the strength and then like, oh, just buy Bitcoin, you good. Nah, fuck, nah, no. There's too many other variables.
So what are you telling them to buy?
I'm not telling them to buy anything. I'm saying if you're not willing to actually get into learning about crypto and actually investing your time in understanding your investments, that way they can pick whatever they want to. They can pick whatever they want to. If you're not going to do that, then I don't recommend you getting in at all.
I'm with you. Like, yeah, facts. If you're just going to sit there and buy coins, I don't recommend you sit there and come into this space at all.
Because you're going to get fucked in the ass because you sitting up here buying shit that you have no idea what it does or how it works. Like, you don't even know how to fuck.
This is why I promote.
Stay the rest of the stock market if that's all you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, you make the same back.
Nah, this is why I promote the way I promote. Like, you do not have to tell people to buy like volatile shit. Like Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was at $67,000, I'm still telling people get into the crypto space. But I'm not telling them to buy Bitcoin or anything like that. I'm telling them go buy some stable coins or whatever and stake that. Like you can still get into the space without getting wrecked or being down 80, 90%.
Go buy some stocks and get some dividends.
I'm just telling them to go buy some shit that you
want to be down 80, 90%.
Okay, but at least they understand though. At least they understand. They came up